My child, I need to see you urgently, right now. Stop what you are doing. Stop scrolling. Stop pretending you are fine. Something in you has been calling out for a long time, and tonight I am answering. You have been telling yourself that you are only a survivor, that you barely made it through, that you are still standing by accident. That is not true, and I need you to hear this before you close this video, because what I am about to say will change how you see every scar on your soul. You think you survived. I say you were carried. There is a difference, and that difference is the whole point of tonight. A survivor keeps looking over their shoulder. A survivor sleeps with one eye open, waiting for the next disaster, expecting joy to be temporary and peace to be a trick. If that sounds like you, if you have been waiting for something good in your life to collapse, then this message is not a coincidence. You were led here. Think about the people who crossed the sea with the water walled up on both sides. Behind them was an army that wanted to destroy them. In front of them was a road that should not have existed. There was no bridge, no boat, no plan that made sense to the human mind. Yet a path opened where no human strength could have carved one. My child, there were seasons in your own life that felt exactly like that. Pressure pushing from behind, uncertainty waiting ahead, and almost nothing left inside you to keep walking. You called that surviving. I call it being carried through impossible water on dry ground. Now think of 3 young men who refused to bow to a system built on fear. They were thrown into a furnace so hot it killed the men who threw them in. Yet when the king looked inside the flames, he did not see 2 men burning. He saw 4 men walking, untouched, unafraid, and calm. My child, I was not standing outside your fire watching you burn. I was inside it with you. That is the part nobody teaches you. You did not just escape the flames of your hardest year. You were kept alive inside them while they raged around you. This is why calling yourself only a survivor is too small a word for what happened to you. A survivor is proud simply to be alive. But you are not just alive. You were held. You were shielded. You were walked through fire and through water, and you came out the other side still able to love, still able to hope, still able to sit here right now and listen to this message with your whole heart open. That is not luck. That is not coincidence. That is a hand underneath you the entire time, even when you could not see it, even when you cried yourself to sleep and thought no one heard you. I heard every one of those nights. I heard the prayer that only said, "Help me make it through today." I saw the smile you forced while your chest felt hollow. I saw you keep showing up for everyone else while quietly falling apart inside. None of it was hidden from me, and none of it was wasted. Here is what I need you to understand tonight, urgently, before you go one more day carrying the wrong identity. Stop introducing yourself to your future using your past pain as the headline. Stop saying, "I am the person who went through the divorce, the loss, the sickness, the betrayal," as if that is the whole story. That was the fire. It was never your identity. The 4 men walking in the flames proved that something greater was present the entire time, keeping you upright when collapse would have been the easier, more natural outcome. So how do you carry yourself now? Not with your fists up, ready for the next blow. Not with your guard raised, waiting for betrayal to repeat itself. I am asking you to stand differently. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, breathe slower than you have in years. This is not the posture of someone bracing for another disaster. This is the posture of someone who has finally understood they were never facing their battles alone. A new way of standing is available to you starting today. Not defensive, not exhausted, not waiting for the ground to shake again, but calm, steady, and quietly confident. The way someone stands when they know, without any doubt, that they were carried through the worst night of their life and are still here. Stay with me, because there is more you urgently need to hear. What was formed in you during that fire was not only for your own healing. There is a light that survived inside you, and very soon I am going to show you exactly why I kept it burning and where I am about to send you with it. There is a light that survived inside you, and I need you to understand why I kept it burning instead of letting it fade when everything around you went dark. You were not healed just so you could feel comfortable again in private. That is the mistake most people make. They think restoration is only for their own peace, their own relief, their own quiet life away from everyone who hurt them. But I want to show you something that will completely change how you see your pain from this point forward. Every wound I closed in you was closed for a reason bigger than your own comfort. Think about a candle carried into a house after the electricity has failed. That candle does not argue with the darkness. It does not shout or demand attention. It simply burns, and because it burns, people around it suddenly know where to step without falling. That is what is happening inside you right now, whether you feel it or not. The very cracks that pain left behind have become the places where something real can finally shine through, because a heart that has never been broken has nothing honest to offer someone who is breaking. Here is the truth nobody tells you about healing. You will be placed in rooms where tension sits at the table like an uninvited guest. You will sit across from people who speak sharply, not because they hate you, but because their own soul has been exhausted for years and nobody ever taught them another way to speak. In those rooms, you will not always understand immediately why you were sent there. But if you stay calm instead of matching their chaos, something in the atmosphere begins to shift, slowly, without a single loud word from you. Not everyone will understand this change in you, and you need to prepare for that right now. Some people have lived in darkness for so long that light actually feels uncomfortable to them at first. They may question your sudden calm. They may test your patience on purpose just to see if it breaks. They may even call your peace fake or call your kindness weakness because they have never seen someone stay steady without needing to control the room. Do not measure what is happening inside you by how fast other people accept it. Real change is not loud, and it does not need applause to be true. Now here is where most people get this completely wrong, and this is urgent for you to hear. Carrying light does not mean you preach at every dinner table or correct every person you meet. Light is quieter than that. Light looks like refusing to answer anger with more anger. Light looks like telling the truth without using it as a weapon. Light looks like listening to the one person everyone else in the room has already dismissed. Light looks like staying honest when a small lie would have made your life so much easier in that exact moment. You might be sitting there thinking, how can someone like me, someone still healing, still carry anything for anyone else? Listen carefully, because this is the part that changes everything. You do not need to be flawless to carry light. In fact, the places where you were broken and later mended are usually the exact places where real compassion becomes visible to other people. A crack does not disqualify a lamp. A crack is often where the light escapes the loudest. There are people right now, today, who will find the courage to keep going simply because they watched you keep walking through your own storm without giving up. They may never say it to your face. They may never explain what shifted in them the day they saw your quiet strength instead of your collapse. But it happens more than you realize, and it is happening because of what survived inside you, not because you performed strength you did not actually have. But here is a warning you need just as urgently as the encouragement. The moment this light starts moving through you, your ego will try to hijack it. It will whisper that you are now better than the people still struggling in the dark. It will tempt you to turn compassion into superiority, to look down instead of reaching down. Do not let that happen. Remember exactly how patiently you were carried through your own worst nights before you judge anyone else's pace through theirs. This light was never meant to be a performance. It was never meant to make you feel important or admired. It is meant to stay quiet, steady, and clean, the same way a candle does not need credit for the room it lit up. And once you understand how to carry that light without letting it feed your pride, there is something even more important I need to show you. Because true power, real authority in your life, is about to be tested in a way you do not expect. And how you handle it will determine whether it protects the people around you or ends up hurting them instead. True authority is about to be tested in your life, and I need to warn you before it happens, because the way you handle this next stage will decide whether what I am building in you becomes a shelter for others or a weapon that hurts them. Here is something almost nobody teaches, When strength starts returning after a long season of feeling powerless, the old pain does not simply disappear, it looks for a new outlet. If you were dismissed for years, ignored in rooms where your voice should have mattered, spoken over by people who never respected what you carried, then the moment real strength returns, something inside you will want to prove a point. It will want to correct everyone, win every argument, make sure nobody ever underestimates you again. That reaction feels justified. It even feels like healing, but it is actually the last trap before real authority, and you need to recognize it before it takes root. Authority that comes from unhealed wounds always needs an audience. It needs to be seen, needs to be validated, needs constant proof that it can no longer be ignored. But real authority does not work that way at all. Real authority rests. It speaks only when speaking actually helps. It stays silent when silence protects the peace in the room. It serves without demanding applause in return. Think about someone with the highest possible position choosing to kneel down and wash the dirty feet of the very people who would later abandon him. That single image destroys every assumption people have about what power is supposed to look like. He did not lose authority by kneeling. He revealed what authority actually means when it is not driven by ego. This matters for you right now, because you are entering a season where influence will grow, whether in your relationships, your work, or simply in how people start listening to you differently than before. The temptation will be to use that growing influence to settle old scores, to finally make people feel the same smallness they once made you feel. Resist that completely. The goal was never revenge dressed up as confidence. Here is a distinction you need to memorize. Some people who hurt you were also hurting. Some people who speak harshly never once learned another way to communicate. Some people resist calm and steadiness because every peaceful person they trusted before eventually betrayed them, so peace itself now feels dangerous to their nervous system. Understanding this does not mean you accept abuse or erase your boundaries. It means bitterness never becomes the engine behind your strength. Boundaries can be firm and loving at the same time. Truth can be spoken directly without being delivered as cruelty. Watch closely for this warning sign in yourself. Authority without humility slowly starts enjoying correction more than restoration. It starts loving being right more than being kind. It starts treating people like problems to solve instead of humans to understand. This shift happens quietly, almost invisibly, which is exactly why it is so dangerous. Nobody wakes up one day deciding to become controlling. It happens one small, unchecked reaction at a time. Think about a surgeon holding a scalpel. In steady, trained, careful hands, that same blade saves a life. In careless hands, it causes damage that never fully heals. Your honesty, your growing influence, your ability to see through people clearly now, all of that works exactly the same way. The tool is not the problem. The condition of the hand holding it decides everything. This is why staying humble is not weakness, no matter what the loudest voices around you claim. Humility does not mean shrinking or pretending you have nothing to offer. Real humility simply says, everything good happening in me came from somewhere beyond my own effort, so I will carry it carefully instead of carelessly. That mindset lets you stand firm without turning hard. It lets you shine without needing constant recognition. It lets you lead without needing to dominate every conversation you walk into. There will be moments very soon where people test this in you directly. They will misread your growth as arrogance. They will question your motives out of their own jealousy. Your first instinct will be to defend yourself immediately, to prove with words that you are no longer the person they used to underestimate. Pause before reacting. Having the ability to respond is not the same thing as having the wisdom to respond. Sometimes the strongest possible move is simply restraint. And there will be other moments, just as important, when people come to you exhausted, confused, barely holding themselves together. Do not let their weakness make you feel important. Do not let yourself become the center of their healing story. Point them towards something bigger than you. Encourage them. Listen fully. Speak the truth gently, but remember you are only a vessel carrying something, never the actual source of it. A humble heart can be trusted with far more influence, precisely because it never tries to steal the credit for what it was given. Something is about to be placed on your life because of everything you just survived. Something that has nothing to do with pride and everything to do with the quiet battles nobody else ever saw you fight. And once you understand what that actually is, you will never look at your own struggle the same way again. Something has been placed on your life because of everything you just survived, and I need you to understand exactly what it is, because it has nothing to do with pride and everything to do with battles nobody else ever witnessed. Every hidden moment you thought was wasted was actually being recorded somewhere you could not see. Think about every night you kept praying even when the words felt empty and repetitive. Think about every morning you got out of bed even though nothing inside you wanted to move. Think about every time you chose to stay soft instead of turning cold and bitter, even after someone gave you every reason to shut down completely. None of that disappeared into nothing. It was forming something permanent inside you, piece by piece, the same way pressure slowly turns simple carbon into something unbreakable. Here is a truth almost nobody tells you about seasons of struggle. What looks like standing still from the outside is often the exact moment the deepest transformation is happening on the inside. A seed planted underground looks completely dead for weeks. Nothing visible happens above the surface. No progress, no proof, no evidence anything is working. But underneath, roots are pushing deeper into soil that will later hold up something much larger than the seed itself ever appeared capable of becoming. Your quiet seasons worked exactly the same way, even when everything in you screamed that nothing was happening. Now here is something that will completely shift how you see your own identity. You were probably given labels somewhere along the way that were never actually true about you. Maybe you were told you were too much, or not enough, or broken beyond repair, or simply forgettable. Maybe you started repeating those same labels to yourself until they felt like fact instead of opinion. But labels given to you by pain, by rejection, or by people who never understood what they were looking at do not get to define who you actually are. Think about someone whose very name once meant deceiver, a person known for manipulation and grabbing what was not his. After an entire night wrestling with something far stronger than himself, refusing to let go until morning came, his name was completely changed. He walked away limping, permanently marked by the struggle, yet he also walked away completely renamed. The limp proved the fight was real. The new name proved the fight had actually changed him. My child, you can carry both at the same time. You can carry the limp from what you went through and the new identity that struggle earned you, without one canceling out the other. This is exactly why you need to stop letting your worst season become the only chapter people remember about you, including yourself. The struggle was real. The pain was real. But it was never meant to be the final word on who you are. It was meant to be the wrestling match that changed your name. Now think carefully about what happens after a house is built. Two builders can construct something that looks identical on the surface. Same walls, same roof, same windows facing the same direction. But one house was built on sand, and the other was built on solid rock underneath. From the outside, during calm weather, nobody can tell the difference at all. The real difference only becomes visible when the storm actually arrives. Rain falls, wind pushes hard, water rises against the foundation, and one house collapses completely while the other stays standing exactly where it was built. This is what is happening inside you right now, whether you can feel it happening or not. Your reactions are being rebuilt from somewhere deeper than before. The way you respond to criticism, the way you receive love without flinching, the way you handle uncertainty without spiraling into old panic, all of it is shifting from a shaky foundation to solid ground underneath. This does not mean storms stop coming. Storms still come to both houses. It means you stop collapsing the same way you used to when they arrive. Pay close attention to this next part because it explains why some old relationships and old reactions suddenly feel uncomfortable to you now. When a foundation changes, everything built on top of it eventually has to adjust to match it. Old patterns that once felt normal will start feeling foreign. Environments that once felt tolerable will start feeling exhausting. Conversations that once kept your attention will start feeling empty and pointless. This is not you becoming difficult or ungrateful. This is proof the foundation underneath you has genuinely changed, and everything above ground is simply catching up to match it. You are not the same person who walked into that fire, and you are not meant to keep living like you are. The name given to you by your pain has expired. The foundation built during your weakest, most exhausted moments is being replaced by something that can actually hold real weight without cracking under pressure. There is one final thing you urgently need to understand, something about every hidden season you almost gave up in, because none of those moments were wasted. And what happens next will show you exactly why you were never meant to stay standing at the edge of everything you were made for. None of those hidden seasons were wasted, and I need to show you exactly why you were never meant to stay standing at the edge of everything you were made for. Think about every quiet room where nobody clapped for what you were doing. Nobody saw the extra hour you spent trying again after failing. Nobody noticed the conversation you chose not to have because peace mattered more than being right. Nobody counted the nights you sat alone processing pain instead of dumping it onto someone who did not deserve it. Those moments feel invisible while they are happening, but invisible is not the same as meaningless. A tree spends years building roots underground before anyone ever sees a single branch above the surface. The branch gets the attention. The root gets the credit for keeping the whole tree alive during the drought nobody else witnessed. Here is something that will completely reframe how you see your own struggle. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what was built inside you while it was happening. Somebody can go through the exact same hardship as you and come out the other side hollow, bitter, and closed off completely, while you come out the other side softer in the right places and stronger in the places that actually matter. The difference was never the hardship itself. The difference was what you allowed that hardship to grow inside you instead of destroy. This is exactly why you need to start recognizing small steps instead of waiting for one dramatic breakthrough moment to prove everything is finally working. A small decision to forgive someone quietly is not nothing. A small choice to show up one more day when quitting felt easier is not nothing. A single moment where you chose truth over comfort is not nothing. These small steps are the actual bricks of everything you are becoming, and most people miss their own progress because they keep scanning the horizon for something huge instead of noticing the ground they already covered. Now here is the part that requires real courage from you. There comes a point where you have to move forward without seeing the entire road ahead of you. Think about someone leaving everything familiar behind, an entire homeland, comfort, certainty, with no map showing exactly where the journey ends, only a call to start walking. He did not get the full picture first. He got enough for the next step, and the next step revealed the step after that. This is how real growth actually works. Waiting for total clarity before you move is often just fear wearing the disguise of patience. Think also about someone stepping out of a boat during a violent storm, walking on water for a few incredible seconds simply because his eyes stayed fixed forward instead of down at the chaos beneath him. The moment he noticed the wind, the moment fear became louder than focus, he started sinking immediately. This is not ancient history. This is happening in your life right now in a different form. This is not every single day. You are choosing whether to keep your eyes on where you are actually headed, or whether you let every loud, chaotic thing around you pull your attention down until you start sinking in worry instead of walking forward in confidence. Here is something urgent you need to hear about the voices in your own head, because this determines everything from this point forward. Fear talks constantly, and it almost always sounds convincing. Fear says you are too late, too damaged, too far behind everyone else your age, too unqualified for what you actually want. The way you defeat that voice is not by ignoring it and hoping it disappears on its own. You defeat it by speaking something stronger out loud, directly against it, every single time it shows up. Silence gives fear room to grow unchallenged. A clear, spoken decision shrinks it down to size almost instantly. There is also a quieter mistake many people make without even realizing it, and it might be happening in your life right now. You keep certain rooms of your life closed off, certain wounds you never fully process, certain decisions you keep making completely alone because you have convinced yourself that asking for real help is a sign of weakness. But carrying everything by yourself is not strength. It is just exhaustion wearing a stronger costume. Real strength invites support into every room of your life instead of hiding the messy ones behind a locked door. And here is the final truth you need before you move forward from this moment. Rest does not mean you gave up. Sitting still for a season while you heal, while you think, while you finally breathe without bracing for the next disaster, is not defeat. Some of the most important growth in your entire life will happen during seasons that look completely unproductive from the outside. A person who values presence over constant motion, who sits quietly instead of rushing to prove their worth through endless activity, often understands something that busier people completely miss. You have been standing at the edge of something for long enough. The fire already proved you were carried, not abandoned. The light already proved your pain became useful instead of wasted. The pressure already proved real strength stays humble instead of turning arrogant. The hidden work already proved your foundation is finally solid enough to hold real weight. There is nothing left to wait for. The next step will not feel completely clear, and it does not need to. You have already survived every version of yourself that could not handle what you are about to become. Stop standing at the doorway. Walk through it.